Hello YouTube. Thought we'd do a quick video today on how to get your repeater software, your channel ID, and Zello all on one computer and get it all working. It's real simple. You just got to be mindful of the settings, and I'll show you that in a minute here. This video is going to be a little different. I wish I could do all this on my computer, so I don't have to move a camera around, but I can't, because if I plug in my headset so I can make the video, it interferes with the rest of the software because I'm adding in another microphone. So we have to do it the old-fashioned way with another device, and I'm going to have to hold it. And I got a tripod, so hopefully it won't be too shaky, but I apologize. That's the only way I can make this video. Otherwise, there's just too many mic plugins on the computer, and it interferes with the software. So, at any rate, this is hooked up the same way as my other videos. I got the handheld. I did switch it out to a ball fang because I got a battery eliminator now. It's plugged in, goes to the computer. Okay, there's a two-way radio for receive purposes, and I got the iPad for so you can hear it on the Zello app. So first things first, let's go ahead and show you how this works. And what I mean by that is, I have this set up so that the channel ID is going only through the two-way radio, not through Zello. Okay? You don't need it to go through Zello. FCC says it has to go through the repeater system. And that's how I have this config. Can you make it go through Zello? Yes, but I'm not going to get into details on this video on how to do that. But for this video, it will not go through Zello. Only the two-way radios. So let's go ahead and show you the settings. And we're going to kind of move this over to here. Like I said, bear with me. I wish I could do this a different way, but I can't. So, as you can see here, I'll use my mouse as a pointer. I have the software. I don't have the repeater function turned on in the software. I can turn it on, and I can use it like my other videos. I did a simplex repeater. It would record and play back. I could do that. Works just fine, but I don't need to because I have the two-way radio, the handheld. The frequencies that are programmed in my handheld automatically connect to the Redivus repeater. So I don't need to have the simplex mode on. Maybe perhaps I'll show you that also. But let's show you this first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to configurations. And of course, let me move this over. Okay, the BTEC beacon. Like I said, I apologize. This is the best way I could do this video. We're going to hit test. And then as I hit test, you're going to see it does not activate Zello, but it does play on the two-way radios. And I'll show you that. Let's hit test. And I might take my microphone off and put it by the radio, but you'll see what I mean. So let's do that. Maybe you can hear it.
This is a demonstration of voice station identification. You only need your call sign, but for demonstration purposes, we will go into more detail. This is a GMRS two-way radio repeater transmitting on frequency 462.625 megahertz and receiving on.
There you get the idea. It's only on the two-way radio, not through Zello. Okay? Everything else works the way it's supposed to. If I, let me close this window. If I talk, let's go back to the these devices. Like I said, I apologize for this, but this is the best way I can do this. And I got to wait for it to get done with its messy. Now it's done. Okay, so now if I take the two-way radio, let's go ahead and get the app up here quick so you can see this. Now if I take the iPad and I press the button, like I said, you'll hear in the radio. There's going to be feedback because obviously I'm close to everything here. Radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you saw that. Now I'll key this up and you'll see it play on the iPad. Radio check. Radio check, radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 2, 1. Radio check. I don't know if you could hear that, but it plays on the iPad. So that's how I have this configuration. It only does the channel ID on the two-way radio, not through Zello. Like I said, you don't need it through Zello. So the only thing that you have to be kind of mindful about is your sound settings. And I'm going to show you here what I mean by that. On the software, the Simplex repeater software, if you go to sound, let me turn this again, sound card, configuration, sound card, and I had to select choose my sound card. So this is how, now your name of your sound card may be different. You'll have to play with this. But as you can see here, I had to choose it. And then I selected the record inputs and the playback inputs. Okay? Then it says here, you must restart the Simplex software after you make your changes. So you got to exit out of the software and restart it. So, and then also on the Zello, you got to go to Tools, Options, the speaker, and here again, I had to select which ones I want to play back with this drop-down menu here. And obviously the drop-down menu here is where you got to select. I can't tell you your settings because I don't know what name your microphone is called. Like in my case, it says mic at front panel. Yours might be mic in back panel or something. But you have to play with it. It's not hard, but just that's where you got to get the settings right to have all this work together. That's where you got to go. Obviously, the Vox settings on Zello are the same like you would normally when you're running Zello normally. There's no difference there. You need the Vox turned on, obviously, for the two-way radios to communicate. Same with the handheld. Let's go back over here. Let's go back here. Here, you're going to need, obviously, the two-way radio that you got hooked up. You're going to need the Vox turned on and the Vox sensitivity all the way up. Now, you don't need a separate repeater. You could, if you have a handheld that you can remove the antenna from, you could remove this antenna, unscrew it, screw an adapter, and you can run it to an outside antenna. Or you can run it to an amplifier, then outside to an antenna. So you don't need another repeater, big fancy system to do this. Or for that matter, you can just keep it as a handheld. Of course, your range won't be as good because it's just got a little antenna. But in this case, like I said, this handheld's programmed for the repeater frequency of my Redivus, which is, that repeater is on, that antenna is on a 30-foot pole outside. So that's on that. Now, like I said before, you can use this channel ID with the repeater function on. I'm going to take my mouse cursor here, and I don't. I have the repeater function off. But you could turn on the Simplex so it records and plays back like my other videos on the Simplex repeater. It will record and then play back. Where that's handy to use is if your two-way radio only has like one frequency, like you took like a Walmart radio or something to that effect. You would need it to record your voice or record all voices, and then it plays it back. And that's how you can do a simplex repeater with one frequency, no duplexer, bare minimum. Probably the cheapest way of doing a simple repeater is called a simplex repeater, and you can use this software, and you can select that auto to on, and then it will record and then play back. So, and it won't play back and record on the Zello app part, because you got to keep in mind the Zello is a separate thing from this. It's only going to record and play back the two-way radios, because Zello is a whole different program. It can patch directly to it when it needs to, if someone's talking on radio. So you only need to record on two-way radios, you see. But you'll once you activate and kind of play with it, you'll kind of see what I mean. But it won't it won't record and play back on Zello, because it doesn't need to. And maybe here I can show you. I will turn this on. Okay. Let me grab a radio here. Radio check 1 2 3 4. Radio check 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4.
Radio check 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Check 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Check 1 2 3 4.
So I don't know if you caught that. When I first did a transmission, while it was recording, it played it on Zello. It recorded it. Then when it played it back, it didn't need to play back on Zello again, but it played it back on the two-way radio. And also it was playing on my tablet. So I don't know if you caught that or not. I'll show you again. Watch here when it records, watch this little indicator, and then when it plays back, watch this indicator. So I'm going to do this one more time, and I'm going to take I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try to take the headset and put it, maybe I'll move the phone and then put it by these devices, and you can kind of see them playing back. Let's see if I can do that. Like I said, I apologize. This is the best I can do this video. But I have simplex turned on. That's why it's doing this. You can see it right there, auto on. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take the two-way radio. I'm using just the handheld. Radio check. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So I don't know if you heard that or not. Like I said, I'm going to do it one more time. Now watch the Zello. This is the indicator when it's playing through Zello. Okay? When that's red, that means it's playing on Zello. So when I key up that two-way radio and talk, it's going to record and play on Zello. But when it plays back, it doesn't need to replay on Zello, because it played once on Zello. And we're just recording the two-way radios because we got to make the two-way radio function be a repeater. I know it sounds kind of confusing, but you'll kind of see what I mean here. So I'm going to take the two-way radio. 1 2 3 4 5. Played on Zello. Now it's playing it back on the two-way radio. So when I was recording it, when it was playing through Zello, you heard it through my iPad. So let's do this again. Let's move the camera, put it over here. Like I said, I apologize. I wish I could do a better video, but it's very hard to do all this with limited equipment. So here's the handheld that I'm talking on. Here's the iPad. and that's the radio that's hooked to the computer. So let's go ahead. Let's take this iPad. Now what I'm going to do, put this back here. I'm going to press this button, because there's going to be feedback because everything's close. So ignore the echoing and the feedback. I'm going to press this button on here and talk. You're going to see the red of us. The sound that you're going to hear, hopefully you can hear it, will be coming over the two-way radio, and the green light will turn on the red of us, meaning it's receiving. So let's try that. Radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm going to press this and talk on the radio, and you'll hear it come through the iPad. It will record because I got the simplex turned on. So, but it will only play back the second recording on the two-way radio. It doesn't need to because it already played on Zello. So, radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Radio check. Now played it on the. Okay, so it replayed it through the two-way radios, but not Zello, because it doesn't need to replay it through Zello because it played it through Zello the first transmission. So that's how you can set this up as a repeater. You'll kind of, when you play with it, you kind of get what I'm saying. Now I don't need that record function on because, like I said, I have another repeater that my two-way radio is programmed to with the frequencies. So I can turn that function off. Now, let's go back to here. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. This channel ID works whether you have the simplex repeater on or whether you have it off. It works either way. I don't need it on. And then for testing purposes, I'm going to play one more time. And like I said, if you watch the indicator here, it does not key up Zello, but you'll hear it on my two-way radio, but not on Zello. You don't need to do it on Zello. So let's hit the test button. There it goes.
This is a demonstration of voice station identification.
Hopefully you can hear that.
Need your call sign, but for demonstration purposes.
I'm going to turn the volume down. It's still playing it, but it's not playing on Zello, only to the two-way radios. And you can see that by the green light. And if I turn the sound up.
And 67.625 megahertz, identifying as call sign.
So, like I said, it's only playing the two-way radios, which that's what you want. You don't need to play it on Zello. It's not required by FCC. So, make sure that you check this. I don't have it checked now because I don't want it playing in my video that I'm making now. So that's why I don't have it checked. But select your file, check this, set your time, hit OK. And like I said, you don't need the repeater function on right here. You don't need it on if you don't need to, unless you want the repeater function in the software to actually record your voice and play it back as a repeater function. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of, once you play with it, you kind of get where I'm getting at. And like I said, you can get it to play on Zello, the channel ID, if you want. But I'm not going to go into that video now. I'm not going to explain that now. It's not really needed. So I figured there's really no need to do that. And to do that, if you want a short version of it, you just got to change inside this repeater software. You got to change the sound card to the one that you need. In this case, I would change it from mic in to my speaker HP card to make it play on Zello. So it's just a sound card selection that lets you do that. So I hope this video is helpful. I apologize that it's not as good as the other videos, but that's the only way I can do this. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below and please subscribe. Thank you and have a good day.